Today I'm going to talk about something very important. Do you know anyone who's always sad? Someone who's on the verge of depression or who's actually depressed? In 2017, World Health Organization ran a campaign. The campaign is called Let's Talk. They found out in their survey there's over 300 million people who are depressed. That is an alarming figure. The number has increased by 18% between 2005 to 2015. In the country where I come from, Malaysia, National Health Morbidity Survey (NHMS) revealed that 4.2 million Malaysians aged 16 and above are struggling with mental health issues. Coincidentally, it's also up by 18% from 2006. Another worrying trend is that for every 10 individual students that they surveyed in 2011, one had mental health challenge. The number increased in 2016. For every 5 students they surveyed, one had a similar issue. We at the LOA Centre, we believe that all of us are born to be great. Our goal is to help you be great so that you'll be happy. Now that's very important. Happiness is important, and that's what we've been driving at for the past 10 years. Let's first understand why is this happening. We as human beings, I term as we are social creatures. We are someone who would like to sit down, have a good conversation, share our happiness and sorrows. We always have our sensory feeling happening where, we touch the other person, we hug, we look, we speak, we cry. We do that. When I have a problem, I sit down and have a conversation with my buddy or my parents. Now, that is broken. One of the factors that's causing this is since the introduction of social media and smartphones. The coping mechanism has been affected. Have you seen nowadays where families go out for dinner, they sit together at the dining area. The first thing that they do is they put their head down. It's as if they are praying. Actually, they are sending messages through their social media apps. Now, this is the challenge. When a teenager or an adolescent have some challenge, what he does or she does is they'll post it in social media. That's how they vent their sorrows, hoping that they'll get some kind of ease. The challenge is that there's no social activities that's actually taking place. The sensory feelings are not activated. So what happens? You might get occasional thumbs up coming. And the worst part is that some of them might just bully you. That is another case by itself. A psychology professor from the San Diego University, Jean M. Twenge, found that kids who use social media daily were 13%, let me repeat, 13% more likely to report high levels of depressive symptoms. She found out that the lower the in-person interaction, the higher the time in social media, the more depressed they became. Dr. Frances Jensen, who's a neuroscientist and also the author of the book called Teenage Brain, she also stated that we know for a fact teens have very underdeveloped impulse control and empathy and judgment compared to adults. Now, why is this happening? Now first, let's understand how the brain is formed. Since the day we are born, the brain starts developing. The brain develops from back to front. Now, in the beginning, if you could remember or if you could see a child, the first thing that they do is they start looking around, so their vision, they are gathering information through their vision. That part of the brain is developing. And then with their ears, their sensories and all that, now they're developing, they're hearing to sounds and all that. And then they'll go into an area where they're actually learning languages, they're learning new stuff, it's being programmed. Now all the things are gradually taking place. Now for the first 13 years, the brain goes through development. 90% of the brain is being developed. That's for 13 years. There's another 10% which has not been developed. It's a very vital part of your brain. That is the part where your frontal lobe is being developed. Now that 10% takes another 13 years. So now, it takes approximately 25 to 26 years for the brain to fully develop. At the frontal lobe is where you basically behave and make sensible decisions. You have emotions, right kind of behavioral, you do executive decisions and all that. So during the times of adolescence, they call it you are like driving a car without a brake. That's dangerous. I still remember when I was a kid. I didn't know that back then. When I was a kid, I was basically doing stuff that I thought it's all okay. I thought everything is perfect. Until my parents were talking to me, why am I so silly doing all that stuff? I didn't know. Now I know that at that time, my brain was still developing. So kids out there, remember that your brain is still developing if you are below 25. Now for parents, an advice for you, give them some space, understand this, and give them some space and guidance for them to grow until the age of 25, 26, where they can make some amazing decisions. With the brain now developing, it takes around 25 years up to around 26 years for it to be fully developed. When you're using the phones, there's also chemical reaction that's taking place in our brain. Now, if you reach your phone in the first 15 minutes after you wake up, you also fall into the category of being an addict. Why? Because we have a neurochemical called the dopamine that's being secreted. Dopamine is an amazing, very powerful neurochemical that happens in our body. Its role is basically to help us to go from goal to goal to goal. When we achieve any kind of goal in our life, when we achieve something in our life, we have this amazing feeling coming to us. That is the secretion of dopamine. It increases our data processing speed. It increases our perception. So when we're going for a goal, we'll be very clear when we have these hormones working for us. Similar thing happens when you are actually reaching for your phone in the first 15 minutes. Now, dopamine, it could be highly addictive. Now, people who are addicted to alcohol, to drugs, to smoking, or coffee, or anything that is addictive, whenever they reach out for that addiction, they have this neurochemical that's being secreted in their body. So, similar thing that's happening when you're reaching out to the phone. Now, whenever you hear a ding in your phone, when you have a message, now guess what you do? You reach out for the phone. It's basically, you get hormones of dopamine coming out. Now, we also found out that, I'm sure if I ask you, can I have your phone and I keep it for a day, how would you feel? I'm sure you're going to go cold turkey. You'll never ever part your phone away. It's just like some gadget that is part of your body. It's an extension of your body. We are so attached to the phone. Now let's go to understand how a negative person operates. Thanks to the book written by Michael J. Lozier, the best-selling book called Law of Attraction. It's an amazing book, The Science of Getting More of What You Want and Less of What You Don't. You should read that book. It's an amazing book. Now, there's a process called the words-result relationship. So let's talk about someone who's negative, right? So what happens is that first he uses negative words. Then negative words will form a negative thought in his mind, in his brain. That negative thought in return gives him a negative feeling. That negative feeling now coupled with the action will give him negative result. Example, let's talk about, let's say there's a reunion that's going to take place and you're negative. So what you say is that you start uttering negative words. If I go for that reunion, the people are anyway, they'll talk about things which are not very exciting. Anyway, those guys are losers. So you'll be having this conversation with you. And that generates a negative thought. Your thought will be negative about the whole situation. And deep inside, you'll start having a negative feeling. It'll be a negative feeling. Now, with that negative feeling, with the vibration that's going out, and your action will be that you're not going to go for that reunion. So what happens is that result will put you back in your comfortable space, back at home, and start dwelling in your negative world, will lead to another negative situation, and then another negative situation where things will start spiraling down. So the words that you use ultimately affect the result that you're going to get. With the same concept, now we are ready to disrupt the program in basal ganglia. So by looking at the words-result relationship that we spoke about, now whenever you catch yourself being negative, you need to hit a button called a reset button. This is something that we've been teaching for the past 10 years with our friends and clients in the corporate world and also in the public. So far we have touched around 50,000 lives. So what happens is that whenever you catch yourself being negative, the old habitual pattern that's running in basal ganglia, which is sent to all your areas of your motor neuron for your actions to take place. Now, the moment when you catch yourself being negative, reset and ask, so what do I want? Now, what happens is that the word so what do I want disrupts the very program that was taught in the past. Now, the brain is forced to think the way I want it to be. As we spoke about, when we get what we want, we become happy. So we need to keep doing this. When we catch ourselves being negative, hit the button, reset, so what do I want? And answer. If let's say you had a puncture, before kicking the tire, which will hurt your feet, reset and ask, so what do I want? I would like to call my brother, or I would like to call my friend who will be passing this road anyway to get help. Or I would like to call the toll-free number for the emergency response team to come and help me out, rather than kicking the car. That brings you to a nudge towards happiness. If you keep doing this for the next 21 days to 66 days, you'll see some amazing changes in your life. You'll truly be happy. As mentioned, for the past 10 years, we at LOA Centre have touched with the physical reset button with the so what do I want concept. We have touched 50,000 lives. Now for the next 10 years, we have set an audacious goal. By 2028, we would like to touch 10 million lives. Yes, in order to make that cause to come alive, we have created an app called the Reset app. The Reset app will be in your phone. Yes, in your phone. We are unable to take the phone away from you because we are so attached to our phones. Nor can we stop you from pressing all the apps that you want to press. By having the Reset button in your phone, may you consciously start pressing the right button, which will bring you to happiness. Number one, download the app in Android Play Store and also in Apple App Store. Now, the second thing is basically be part of this community. Be a zapper. There are two types of people in this world. One is a sapper. Sapper is basically someone that you meet. They'll take out your energy. You'll feel so down when you meet up with them, when you leave their space. Or you can choose to be a zapper, where someone, when you meet, they uplift you. You feel good when you leave your space. Now, to get more information about how to be a zapper, go to myresetbutton.org. The link is below. Or if you're already there, click on the tab Zapper to get more information. So I'm looking forward in seeing you, touching more lives, get them to hit the reset button, ask so what do I want, and let's enjoy this process. Be happy. Thank you.